Well, hello to all of you. Welcome to my radio channel, Unique Expressions. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you like. If nothing else, please hit the like button. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Patrick. Welcome to Unique Expressions. This here is the Duck Show, and we're all nuts, and I'll prove it. In all these words you can't dispute. And here's how we're nuts. First of all, we send some guy up in a balloon to tell us if the world's round or flat. Well, I'll tell you what, it's pretty darn flat, 'cause I walk it every day. And if I could get up there high enough, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna need more feathers, because I don't know if you know it or not, but if you go on the tallest mountain peak in your bathing suit, you're gonna look like the ice cream parlor that Joe Biden loves to lick. Yeah, all that ice cream, 'cause you're gonna look like one, like a sickle pop. That's right. I'm telling you, it's cold up there. And you expect me to believe that they launched a rocket with men in it that you can barely move around? Well, I got news for you. If it's that cold at over 12,000 feet on a mountain peak, when you get up there in that black abyss, it's gonna be an instant freeze pop. You're gonna think ice stage just hit you, like right now, like really cold. Yeah, and those little things they call heaters inside these cockpits? Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know when's the last time you took a look, but when you're driving in the snow and you got your heater on full board and your engine's revved up to 180 degrees and your windshield's so fogged up you can't even see the lines. Yeah, that's right. You can't see or read where the lines are. That's why the guardrails got more stamps on them than the post office has stamp books. That's right. That's a lot of stamping. So don't tell me we've been up there, because their whole damn ship would be nothing but an ice cube. That's right. Yo, yeah. How do they take them crystal clear pictures out them windows? Yeah, they must got some good window defrosters, because I don't know about you, it's really cold. That's why they wear them thick suits, and they can't even get up there. That's the truth. They've never been up there, 'cause they can't get off this rock. And if you don't think we live on a rock, well, I don't know when the last time you picked up a shovel and dug in your yard, because what comes up? A bunch of rocks. That's right, a bunch of darn rocks all over. Yeah, so we live on a rock. And then, if you could part the sea, I would tell you one thing. Down at the bottom, you'll find more rocks. Yeah, lots of rocks. So there, we live on a rock, and we've been trying to get our feathers off of this rock onto another rock. Well, I don't know, that's pretty damn nuts. So there you go, there's proof one, you're nuts. Trying to get off one rock and get your butt up there on a colder rock. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more feathers. 'Cause I tell you what, These feathers I have barely keep me warm on a 12,000 mountain peak. Yeah, your beak's free shut. That's right. And that thing they call a rocket shuttle. Yeah, when they do get it up there, it's gonna be so froze over, it's gonna look like a Neanderthal you dug up out of the Ice Age. Yeah, that's how it's gonna look. You just go up there. You take the nearest ride. That's why they haven't got one, 'cause they haven't got off this rock. And you haven't figured it out. And here's how we're nuts more. Yeah, we got more nuts. So here's another one. It's called a thing they do every 4 years. These things that they call themselves human beings walking on two legs, well, they follow liars. And that's nuts. That's right. Lots of common sense. You guys go down to something that we call a poll booth. Well, I got news for you. You should be calling it a lie booth. That's right, it's a lie booth. Why? Because you vote for people that stand up and sound really good with all their lies. Yeah, been going on for hundreds of years, or 200 years for a fact. Well, they all lie. They say they're going to do something, and then they do the opposite. Well, yeah, that sounds like a good gimmick. Yeah, I'd like to make some money too. So I guess if I tell my mom I'm going outside, but I'm not going to make no money, well, I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to make some money. Yeah, 'cause that's how it all works. 'Cause we all lie, and we believe that lie. And like a lying duck, they follow the lying duck. That's right. They go in there to this lie booth. They pick out all these boxes with some fancy letters there, that makes the word, and it's supposed to spell a name. Kind of gives a vague idea who they're voting for, 'cause they really don't know. I mean, the guy only lives 800 miles, 1,200 miles away, so they never met the guy. So they're just going by something stamped on a pamphlet. Yeah, might as well put that in the Time magazine. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you something. They're lying. All that writing, that's lies. But we vote for it. Then we pick through them. Yeah, we gotta pick through them because we gotta have the best liars. We can't have just a casual liar. Now we gotta have the best. Yeah, the best liar. We gotta vote for him. That's how our world works, see? So anyways, they pick through these names in a little fancy little short briefs, and then they go, ooh, that one's a good liar. We're gonna vote for him. Even though the one below him might have a better heart. I don't know, maybe some more common sense. But he don't lie so good, so we're voting for this one. But he knows how to lie. And I can prove that. You just look at that guy they call Trumpet. Yeah, Trump. The Trumpet. Big dog. Yeah, we voted for him. And that guy knew how to lie. So we voted for him. Yeah. And I kind of feel sorry for that Biden. Nobody really voted for him. They just kind of shuffled him in under the rug. 'Cause he didn't know whether he was coming or going. Yeah, I feel real bad for him because they stuck him in an ice cream parlor. In the White House, in the kitchen. Yeah, they opened up that big a freezer full of ice cream. He was in heaven. That's right. He had more flavors in there than he can actually taste, if he could even taste it. But anyway, they kept him preoccupied. 'Cause while he was in there eating up all that ice cream, well, his committee, they were in there on that auto pen. Yeah, they were setting that thing up. Then they got a hold of Japan, and And they said, we want 7 more of these. And they're like, why do you need 7 more for these? Well, because if one breaks, I don't have time to call a mechanic. That takes too long, and our time's valuable. I mean, we got a lot of paper to spit out here. Yeah, it's got to be on speed dial. So we need 7 more in case one breaks. Yeah, we just swap it out real fast. And as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm going to get a hold of the governor down in Texas. And then I'm going to call up for a direct oil line to the White House. 'Cause that's the blackest thing in liquid I can think of right now. 'Cause I'm not really thinking straight. I've just got to get all this paper out. And I ain't got enough ink. I ain't got time for him to make it. So I'll get a hold of that governor, and he'll bring me a pipeline, and we'll have all the black stuff we need to stamp this paper. It'll be an endless supply of oil. That's right, we're going to stamp this in oil. It's the next best thing to stamping it in blood. That's right, it's liquid proof. Yeah, that he signed it on autopilot. That's right. Uh-huh. Got a lot more of this stuff to spit out than the New York Times can spit off their newspaper press. Man, and they could put out some newspapers, I'll tell you that. Yeah. So, nobody voted for that poor Biden, so they're nuts. There. See, we're nuts again, there's your proof, see? If they voted them in, then they're all nuts, or crazy, or nutsly crazy. They're right. Their nut fell from that nut tree and cracked their walnut shell. Tell you that. And nobody in their right mind would vote them. Vote for him, I'll tell you that. Ain't nobody would have voted for him. But he was the middle guy, in between Trumpet and Obama. Yeah, there's another liar they voted in. So say we vote for liars and we follow liars. And we read all the stuff they're telling us. And when we vote for liars, well, that makes us a liar. And we don't like being liars, not these duck families. I'll tell you that. They're ruffled up my feather. Done blown smoke up my feathers. Yeah, our feathers been smoked. Yeah, by the best liars. That's right. Can't seem to get anybody in there to tell the truth and do something righteous for everybody. Oh, hell no. They gotta have something for themselves. Yeah, like all that stuff they spit out on that auto pen. That was on autopilot. I mean, that's speed dial. I mean, that thing was going faster than your crackhead down the street. Yeah, his brains was really spinning. And I'll tell you what, that auto pen, it was smoking. Yeah, that's how fast it was going. It wasn't just spinning, it was smoke spinning. Yeah, like the smoke up my feather. Yeah, done smoked my feather. That's way. Think we've been off this rock in a space shuttle. Wow, I'll tell you. That's why they wear them thick suits before they even get on it. They need all that padding when it comes crashing down. That's right. You don't think it ain't gonna come crashing down? I don't know when the last time you took a plane count, but I'll tell you what. 6 or 5 a month lately. That sounds like a good number. That's about realistic. Some of it they probably don't even tell you. It done disappeared in the sea somewhere. Kind of tell you went missing in some Bermuda Triangle out there. No, it didn't. It went in the water. Just go dig around far long enough, you'll find it. Especially if you get your feathers down there deep enough. Yeah, part that sea, you'll find all the wreckage. They tell you it disappeared in a triangle. Oh, and then 25 years later, they have a sighting of it. Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't trust any pilot 25 years after disappearing. Sheesh, he was definitely lost. And we believe him. Yeah, that's what's interesting. We believe him. Yeah, we believe all the top dog liars. Yeah, that's kind of like Hollywood, man. They got it really good. Yeah, they got a lot of lying movies, I'll tell you that. Yeah, they know how to put a good show together, but only they know how to make a lie and present it. Yeah, and you feel like you're in that third dimension TV set as you're sitting there on the couch. Yeah, they call them people couch potatoes. They glued to that thing. They like living in that third dimension world. Man. So, they make it look like they made it to space. The only thing they did is, wasted a lot of fuel. You know how many cars that could have moped for the next 200 years? Yeah, they burned it up in 200 seconds. Wow. Man, put that in your automobile. You know? And you're gonna trust them in that. But I'll tell you what about these things they call a plane trying to mimic us ducks. Well, I got news for you. They crash. That's right. They crash. They come down and they crash hard. When they do, they do. And believe me, anything that man makes, it's gonna crash. It's just a matter of when. But it's gonna go kaboom! And then you're gonna be all, but you look like a duck without feathers, that's right. 'Cause they'll be all singed off. You know what I mean? It'll give a whole new meaning to the smoked feathers. That's right. You wish you smoked feathers. 'Cause you're on that plane, you look out the window, all of a sudden you see an engine smoking. Then you wonder why you dropped 4,000 feet. Then you're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, we lost some altitude. Yeah, I can see that. Your engine's on fire. Hey, what about that second engine over there? Is that going to hold us up the other 4,000 feet? Or what? Because I don't know. It looks like we're coming in fast. It looks like that's the Empire State Building. And we're not going to have a near miss. I'll tell you what it's called. It's a near hit. That's right. You nearly hit that thing. Yeah. I hope that thing's at least 900 feet off the ground. But that'd give me time to get in a parachute. I want off this ride. You got a parachute? Oh, you don't carry parachutes on a plane? Well, why not? Wouldn't it be kind of safe if you bailed out of the plane when it's crashing? Give your passengers a 2-second crash course? I'd rather take my seconds in that 2-second crash course than not at all, relying on your pilot that disappeared 25 years earlier. And I'm still on this plane. You had a near hit. I need off here. No. So we're coming in for a landing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm holding on to something. I don't know what. I'll hold on to my the seat, I guess. I'll hold on to my feathers. Might have some better luck. And then when it's all done and your butt's down on the ground and you're counting your feathers and you've been roughed up a little bit, you say, what happened? And then the plane it says, we landed. And then you look at him and you say, landed my feathers? You crash! Your plane's all scratched up, kind of little mangled. I don't know about you, but I don't think them things with wheels came out. You know, you call them landing gears? I don't think they came out. I really don't. This plane's all messed up. Yeah, they call it fly-by-wire. Yeah, my butt. I'll tell you what, it's fly-by-hire. Yeah, the hired cheap guy that built this thing. That's what it is. It ain't no fly-by-wire. It's fly-by the cheapest hire you can get. I don't know about you. Then they sit there and take a bid for this space shuttle, they call it. And they expect it to get up there into space. Yeah, but it's only afforded to the lowest bidder. Well, I don't know about you. Every time I look at these planes crashing, yeah, all these high, expensive end stuff built by the cheapest bidder, you might have wanna paid the other guy so he could have put a couple of more bolts in this thing. Might have stayed together. But no, you want the cheapest guy, so he's gonna cut out the bolts and hope for the best. And you're gonna get on a spaceship and go up there? And I'll tell you what, you better be up there at 8,000 miles away, holy smokes. And that thing breaks down, and it will, 'cause man built it, so it's gonna break down. Yeah, and then they're gonna be stuck up there. And then they're gonna sit there and radio back down to Earth, down there. Yeah, and let you see a parachute from there to there. Yeah, you ain't gonna parachute nowhere. That's like 8,000 miles down that way. You know what I mean? So, I'll tell you what, that's a long ways. Yeah, you ain't parachuting down there. You're not gonna parachute down no 8,000 miles, lost less 18,000 miles, while your ship's stuck up there, all frozen like a popsicle, 'cause that's how cold it is. Then they say, we've been into space. You wouldn't even be able to see out the window. You can't even see out the window here when it's -0. And you're going down the highway with your heat on, full board. Yeah, you gotta take a t-shirt or something to help wipe them windshields off, 'cause you can't see nothing. That's right, it's all fogged up. Yeah, I mean, sheesh, how hot you think it's gonna be in that cockpit up there in that space? 800 degrees? Sheesh, you'll be a roast duck. That's right, your feathers will be roasted right off the duck. Yeah, that's about how hot it would have to be. 200 degrees, 'cause you're driving down the highway, and you've got your heater all the way up, and you're in your car with your windows rolled up. Well, sheesh, sometimes you have to crack them windows down, 'cause at 180 degrees in that cockpit driving it down the road, it's pretty freaking hot. I don't know. Yeah, so you gotta crack the window. Or you can't crack the windows in that ship up there, and you'll be sucked out like a helium balloon. Yeah, that broke open. You'll be sucked out all right. So, yeah, that's 180 degrees and 0-degree weather. Well, it's a lot colder up there, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah, you better have a heater that keeps that thing at 800 degrees. Sheesh, you wouldn't need a telescope to see the ship. It'd be glowing red like the sun. You just go out there at night and look up and say, oh, there's a shuttle. It looks very, very red. Yeah, very red. That's right. Yeah. And all the people inside's gonna be cooked like a roast duck. Yep, feathers and all. That's right. See, there's a such thing as called hemisphere pressure and altitude. Well, those are two things that don't get along. Why? Because it's cold in the hemispheric atmosphere, like really cold. Well, you just take that sun away for one day, and this Earth will be like, clear back in the Ice Age. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to be all like frozen like a popsicle. That Sleepy Joe's gonna like to lick all over, 'cause he's gonna mistake you for an ice cream. Yeah, that's right. That's how cold it is. That's why our pilots in the Navy or the Air Force, well, they don't get up there too high, 'cause their ass will pass out, for one. And the others, if they go up too high, their canopy starts to fog up. They don't know if they're upside right or upside down. Yeah, that's kind of important. You gotta know which way that plane is, or you'll be in that water like all them mixed up pilots were. that they finally found their planes, but they said they kind of like disappeared in a Bermuda Triangle. No, they didn't. They couldn't tell if they were up or down. They were in the water, all in flight position. That's right, the same flight position that they were in when they were flying upside down. That's right. They crashed into the water. Yeah, that's what happened to them pilots. They won't be able to see anything out that cockpit. Don't tell me that. You know what I mean? They just can't turn up the heat enough in there. It'll cook 'em like a roast in a microwave. Yeah, in an instant air oven. Yeah, with the air going. Yeah, they'll be air cooked, all right. They'll be a cooked duck. You know what I mean? Their feathers will be smoked, and they didn't smoke anything. That's right. They wouldn't have time to smoke their feather. Their feathers already been smoked. You know what I mean? Like the liars in the lie booth. You know what I mean? Yeah, those guys. Yeah, see, I haven't forgot about them. Yeah, we're back on that subject again. Yeah, we're in the lie booth. You got that guy called Obama. And then you got the top dog, Trumpet. And poor Sleepy Joe, I feel sorry for that guy. I really do. He was the middle guy. That's right, they had to get the middle guy in there so that they can blame him why the country went to heck. That's right, all them feathers they had to blow smoke up. They're rump. Yeah, called us. Yeah, our feathers have been smoked. Yeah, that's right, by the two liars. Yeah. Then when we start figuring it out that we've been lied to, because we vote these liars in, and we've been doing it for 200 years, and we haven't learned a darn thing. Nope, we just keep voting in the best liars. That's right. This guy knows how to lie. He's got to get in office. That's right. So he can take our money away from us and everything else. Yeah, lock up our freedom. You know what I mean? The very thing the Creator gave us. They didn't give it to us. The Creator gave it to us. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to pay these guys because they're good liars. Yeah. Yeah, we pay them to lie. That's what we do. But back to that poor Biden, I'll tell you. He was the middle guy. You know what they call the middle guy? Yeah, he's the fall guy. That's right. These two yo-yos had him falling. Yeah, just look at him trying to climb up them ladders on the Air Force One. Yeah, he was falling down them as he was going up them. That's kind of backwards if you ask me. Normally you fall down them when you're trying to go down them. That's right, not when you're trying to go up them. Yeah, that's because they had him spinning his head. He had his head spinning so fast it looked like a speed top all over. The ones that go wobbly, 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 like at Mach 1. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yeah, his head looked like a top, a speed top. That's right. Looked like your crackhead down the street. Yeah, his head's all spinning. Yeah, boy, his was really spinning. Had to keep up with these two yo-yos that were running circles around him. Yeah, that's why his head was spinning. Yeah, then they come back later and they blame him for all this stuff he signed. And then poor Biden goes, well, no, I didn't sign that document. I didn't sign that one. He goes, the top dog goes, well, it's got your signature on it. Oh, well, I don't remember. I didn't sign that. I don't remember signing it. Nope. Well, it's got your signature on it, so you must have signed it. Oh, did I? I don't know how I did, but I guess I did. Well, it's got my signature on it. I must have. Yes, it's got your signature on it. Yeah, he didn't know what he signed, because he didn't sign nothing. That's right. Them duckheads up there, called duckbills. Yeah, them guys. They just signed everything for him on that thing called an auto pin that was put on speed dial. Yeah, in a direct oil line from the governor out of Texas. That's right. Yeah, they just stamped more paper out of there than the New York Times can keep up with. That's why they didn't know whether they were telling the truth or lying, because they didn't have enough ink to keep up with their lies. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's that of the paper. But no, that White House had everything down to the wire. That's right. It's called fly-by-wire. Yeah. You don't think men's stuff don't break? Yeah, everything man touches or builds breaks. Yeah, they break everything. Sooner or later, yeah, it all breaks. All goes complete. And that's the end of it. Yeah. Well, they're coming up with these new things called autopilot cars. Yeah, that's a no-brainer there. Yeah, you just put your car on autopilot. You let that GPS drive you to your destination. You just kick back, lay back in that seat. This car's gonna take you right there. Yeah, you'll be laying back, I'll tell you that. You'll be in a good dream. All of a sudden, you'll feel some rumbles. You'll wake up just in time to see your ass go over the Grand Canyon. Yeah, then you're going to wish you had a parachute. Because you're going to be saying, oh my God, I'm going to die. Oh, I need out of this car. Do they make out a parachute? That ground's coming up real fast. Yeah, I trust my car that's going to drive my butt. Oh, I'll tell you that, you know what I mean? I have my duck feet, you know? That's what God gave me duck feet for. Yeah, I'd rather walk, or at least let me have my hands on the wheel. You know, I ain't gonna sit there and trust no autopilot. You know, if they're going to autopilot something for the good, this is what they should autopilot. You're driving down the road. You got your hands on the wheel. Yeah, you got some gas, you know, you got your foot going on it, and you're doing about 65 to 80, and all of a sudden you kind of feel a little droopy, and your eyes are starting to close. You're starting to dream about your wife or something you had the other day. I don't know, could be a drink or something, and you're sitting there and you're falling asleep, and then your car detects, hey, wait a minute, you're drifting. You're like crossing all these lines. Oh, I better switch you off and I'll take over. Yeah, and then I'll pull over and park. Yeah, keep your ass safe and everybody else so you don't hit them guardrails. And then when your ass wakes up, at least you'll be safe. Well, that's the only autopilot anything they should have. So they ought to invent more of that instead of trying to invent these cars that know how to park and drive. Yeah, forget that. I want my hands on the wheel. That's right. Yeah, I gotta be in control of this thing. Yeah, I'm going to be driving down 80 miles an hour down the highway. I want my hands on that steering wheel. That's right, my foot on the gas and my other one ready for the brake. Yeah, ain't nothing going to be faster than my brain unless I'm falling asleep. Yeah, then you shouldn't be driving anyway. Then your car should take over autopilot only long enough to park your dumbass. That's right. Park you on the shoulder. Maybe lock you in, call the cops. Get a ticket on your ass. Yeah, driving while you're sleepy. Supposed to pull over when you're sleepy. And the drinking stuff? Yeah, well, that car shouldn't allow you to start up at all. No DNA test. You flip, poke your little finger. Oh, you got alcohol. Nope, ain't starting. You better walk. Yeah, that's right. I call your ass a taxi. You know, let's invest some technology there. Forget this auto stuff. But I don't know. I don't like the concept that things break down and computers kind of go haywire. You know, just look at all these cars that have partial computers. Half of them barely work when it's cold outside. And when you do get them to run, they never run right. Then you want to put it into this car and put it on full autopilot while you kick back in your seat and take a little nap. That ain't how it's supposed to work. Because I'll tell you what, a couple of you guys starting to go over that Grand Canyon, you're going to wish you never had autopilot. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, you see that ground on the other side of that canyon, in between that crevice? Yeah, it's going to come up real fast. gravity kind of works that way. And the hemispheric atmosphere and pressure works just the opposite. Kind of shoves you down faster. And it's flat. It's pretty damn flat. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, Hollywood's got some good trick photography. Yeah, they make everything look real. Well, I tell you what, you tell them to put your butt on a spaceship and take you up a couple 100,000 miles above the Earth so you can see for yourself. And they'll look at you and say, I'm sorry, we can't allow no public on our ship. That's 'cause it's a lie. It really is. It's a lie. See, they don't want you to know the truth. That's kind of what happened to that poor teacher on the space shuttle. Columbia that blew up? Yeah, she was a pedestrian in public, and they couldn't have her run around flapping her beak, telling the truth about everything. Yeah, so they had to, sacrifice that one. Yeah, that's what they did. But it's actually been proven that she's been relocated, and so do the other pilots. So they're not really dead. See, they even lied to you there. Do some digging, you'll find it. She's been put in changed her name and everything. That's right, Protective Witness Program. Yeah, it's called the Protective Keep Your Mouth Shut Program. That's what that is. Because otherwise you will be pushing up daisies without your feathers. That's right. You say something, or you get out of this government lying office, and you're under oath for the next 8 years because they own your feathers. Once you retire, you can't say nothing for 30 years. After that, we don't care. Yeah, we don't care. Say all you want. Because why? Because everybody done forgot about all that crap. Confidential lies. So if you can't figure that out, it's called a lie booth. You know what I mean? When you're in that boat booth next time, you don't check nobody's name. Because they're all lying, their lips are moving. What you do is you check that box with a line on there, and you write in it. So you check that box, and you write in that blank line, and you just say, none of the above. Click, click. That's right, you check that box. Click, click, and you write on it. None of the above. I don't want nobody in there lying. You all lie. So I'd rather have no government. Yeah, none of the above. Click, click. You remember that, because all of a sudden you wake up one day and you want them the hell out of office. Yeah, get them out of here right now. They're trying to kill us. Yeah, they're trying to take out a few thousand of us and stick us with all these needles and jab us with all this crap and then convince us that it's for the we gotta get rid of the COVID, which is just a common flu. But no, we gotta make it worse. Yeah, we'll jab you. Yeah, we'll jab that right in your feather plunk, and we'll shoot you up with that stuff, and we'll watch you croak later. Yeah, we'll watch all kinds of health problems develop from that shot. Yeah, they do it all the time. Yeah. Yeah, you can get your dogs vaccinated, for rabies. It don't do no good. Well, if I'm taking my dog down to get him vaccinated for rabies, but he gets bit by something with rabies, well, then he becomes rabid. That's called rabies. Well, then what the heck did I pay you all these dollars for to shoot my dog up for something I don't know what you shot him up with, but you tell me it's supposed to stop rabies, and it don't stop rabies. Well, what kind of a vaccine is that? And now you want to stick it in me? No, no thank you. I'll take my chances with the gods of heaven and the common flu. I'll be just fine when it's all over with. So you just keep running down there and taking their vaccines. I'll make a vaccine for you. I'll make one, make some money on the side and tell you need to take this. I don't know what it's going to do to you, but you're going to take it. So give me that money, you take this vaccine. Yeah, I'm going to bill your doctor, or your doctor's going to bill you, because I'm going to make money off your doctor. Yeah, because we're all together. That's how that works. We're all together. See, it's a group for us and none for you. That's right. None for you and a group for us. Yeah, we make the money and no money for you. And if you happen to croak, Well, too bad. Got another guy behind you. He's called a sucker. See, I figured this out. I'm gonna check the box with a line on it with no letters, and I'm gonna write in there on every one of them, all the way from the state to the federal government. None of the above. I'll govern my own territory. It's called you come on my property, past my fence, come in, think you're going to come into my house while I'm sleeping or something, and I'm startled because I got somebody in my house, I don't know who the heck he is, and now I'm on a fight or flight mode. I tell you what, I ain't going to fight shit. I'm going to flight a buckshot right in his ass, and then I ain't going to have to worry about it. I'm going to shove him out the damn door, and I'm going to call somebody to come pick him up, or I'm going to bury him in my damn backyard. That's right. Yeah, there's your fight or flight mode. I don't need some president up there to sit there and say, make all these negotiation deals. I don't need none of that. What I need is the military. That's right. The people should be in charge of the military. All the branches. That's right. Because when Japan starts raiding or something, then anybody could call them up and say, hey, we're being invaded by Japan. You better get your butt over here and kick their ass. Yeah, get them the hell out of our country. Yeah, you fire up them planes and shit and start dropping some boom booms. Yeah, 'cause we're running out of bullets over here. We need yours. That's what we pay you for. Yeah, we give you the money direct. We just cut out the middleman. Forget the president. He's just a middleman. We'll get rid of him. And forget all the Congress. They're just a third party. Yeah, we get rid of all that. Get rid of all the Congress and all that crap. This country will run better. It's called self-governing. That's right. You govern your own ass. Yeah, get them damn planes fired up. We pay our factories to build them things. We pay you to be in there. Yeah, it's called a slush fund for the military. Yeah, dip into that and get them damn bullets flying. 'Cause we got Japan over here. And by the way, we got Ukraine. You know, they say are allies, but they cause a lot of this crap. I'll tell you that right now. They cause a lot of this conflict. Yeah, it ain't for Russia. Russia's over there just trying to stay sovereign. Wants people to leave them the hell alone. But Ukraine, they gotta stick their fingers in everything. Yeah, they gotta whip up, stir up that little potion crap. Yeah, they stir that stuff up, and then all kinds of stuff happens. Like all kinds of bad stuff. Yeah. Then they get all these Jews in there, all the IHOPs and everybody else involved into this crap. Yeah, all sucked up into their little ring. And then behind the other side, or you just go around the corner and you'll find England. Yeah, they're just as corrupt. They got some kinky crap going on there too, I tell you that. Because they're all kind of partners behind closed doors, you know what I mean? They kind of all they all love each other in such a way that's just, I can't even put it in words. Yeah, they really love each other. They gave a whole new meaning to love. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, they love everything, including little tollywogs. Yeah, they love little pollywogs. I don't know. There's a whole nother entity there. Yeah, but they're all together and they kind of stir their finger in this pot of brew, and then they drink this stuff called some kind of love potion. I don't know, makes them like goofy potion, like how you kind of go goofy. Yeah, goofy potion. Yeah, that's what happened. We woke up one day, from a normal day, and then next thing you know, we have all this COVID and crap, man. It's like everything before there was kind of running normal. Go to bed that night, wake up the next day, and everything fell to hell. Yeah, everything just, you know, all kinds of shit. Then they had everybody walking in straight lines and follow this. Walk this way down the aisle. You can't go this way. Yeah, see the footprint? Yeah, you follow those. I tell you what, follow this. It's called your finger. The one in the middle, for Sleepy Joe. Just stick that one up and drop the others. You understand? Yeah, follow that. That's what I told them. I didn't wear none of their masks or stuff. I just looked at them and gave them the finger. They shut their lips real fast. Yeah, and I bought my stuff, and I got what I wanted, and I paid for it. You know what I mean? I paid for it, and I left their damn store, and I gave them the finger again. You know what I mean? all trained like robots. You ain't no damn robot. You know what I mean? Until I start seeing 200 people drop dead in front of me, then I might be a little concerned. But it ain't gonna be no vaccine crap or something called COVID from some damn flu. Yeah, had you guys all running around like little robots. Gotta walk this way. You gotta stay 7 feet in front of me. Yeah, don't violate my bubble. I tell you what, it's called self-governing. You stick up the finger, you slap the cash on the counter, and you say, have a nice day. That's right. Yeah, that's the way it works. See, Hollywood has that all figured out for you. It's called they put it on TV, and you think you live in that third dimension TV set. Yeah, I am. Man, we gotta watch Days of Our Lives. Yeah, oh, look at there, man. Oh, man. That's right, you better get him, girl. You go get him. Yeah, you're a jerk. Yeah, you are a jerk. I want you out of that show. Yeah, you're so jerk. Yeah, dude. What for? That. You sit there and argue, and then when they're all done, then your husband comes home and you're arguing with him. That's right. All he wants to do is lay his forehead down. He done smashed his finger with a damn hammer. Yeah, 'cause he breaks everything. They all think they're doing good, but everything they touch, they break. Yeah, so you know what I mean? So, you just get in that autopilot car, put it on autopilot, kick back, take a nap, see where you end up. Yeah, when that computer starts smoking, you'll be over the Grand Canyon. That's right. I'll tell you what, ain't like Bugs Bunny. There's no air brakes on these things. Yeah, you're gonna smash like that airplane without the landing gear. You know, and he says we landed. You didn't land nothing, you crashed. You just simply crashed. Your plane's all smashed up. You know what I mean? And you didn't near miss nothing, 'cause you clipped that poor Empire State Building. Yeah, you took its antenna top off. So you hit it. Ain't no near miss. You near hit everything.
Thank you for listening to Unique Expressions. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like. But if not, at least please hit the like button. Thank you all for listening. Love you all. Signing off.